I'm Ruth Lang for the Alliance Review. I'm here at Sebring Village Hall, where citizens packed council chambers to express their concerns about the water advisory the village has been under since Thursday, when the Ohio EPA sent notification to media outlets about concerning levels of lead.
Who is going to fight to fix our problem and communicate with us? A lot of us have kids at home. We're extremely afraid, and we need a mayor to stand up, be honest with us, hold people accountable, and fix this problem. We have a website in Sebring. I go on there, no communication. Nothing.
It's under construction.
Nothing.
I know, but it just got started rebuilding.
This is 911 in our lives, and I wish you would act like it is too.
Parents of children who were identified as having high levels of lead in their blood also expressed concerns for testing of children older than the 6 age limit set by the Mahoning County Health Board.
My 2-year-old tested a 7.1 yesterday. We then had to go to the hospital and have retested because it was recommended. I have to wash dishes, bathe them, wash their clothes in Sebring water with the lead. I'm not recommended to do that. So I'm supposed to heat up bottled water to wash our dishes and our laundry and bathe them. I mean, who's got time for that? I'm a college student. I take care of a house. I have 2 kids. Are you guys gonna give me all this water so I could just continuously do all this?
Well, the water is going to be provided as long as it's needed to be provided for houses.
So I have to go up there and then heat it up and do all this stuff with my clothes?
Do you even know for sure that your house tested positive?
My son is a 7.1. Where else am I supposed to get this lead?
I
only live in Sebring.
Doesn't mean.
He's 2. He doesn't go anywhere
It
else.
doesn't mean it comes from the water, ma'am.
No, Mike.
No.
Although council has placed City Water Superintendent Jim Bates on administrative leave, some were pointing fingers at Village Manager Rick Giroux.
The information that arrived at my office, I read it, I gave it to Mr. Bates with a memo to follow up. I gave him a handwritten note, put it in his box, and I need you to follow up, contact the EPA. Now, I was assuming it was a routine memo at that point, and I was under the assumption that he was following through on what he needed to do in order to make EPA compliance. That was the first I ever heard of it. As far as I'm concerned, that was a routine memo at that point. I did not know that there was an issue until there was a teleconference on Thursday, the 21st of this month.
Okay, so you told me that Mr. Bates had elevated lead levels in the city of Sebring, and he did not discuss it with you any time prior to December 2nd or 3rd?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Are you sure that's the way you want to answer that question?
I'm pretty sure that's the case, yes.
Well, everybody can begin to speculate, but why didn't you let council know? How many council meetings have been held in the month of December? 2. And you didn't let any of your council members know that there was elevated lead levels, something that they might want to be concerned about with their own family.
It wasn't a memo to council. Council was advised of that, but it was a routine matter. And they were advised that Mr. Bates was aware of it. And
Wait a second. No. They all just told me no.
No, it was in one of my weekly memos indicating that Mr. Bates was advised and he was taking care of it.
Do you have a copy of that memo?
Public record, yes.
I'd like to see it. Has anybody
That's
seen
not,
it?
no, that's a council notification. There was no alert, there was no violation at that time. It was, from my understanding, it was an adjustment for the plant for the chief operator to take care of.
You just said the water plant was putting out good water. The problem wasn't there. The problem was in the distribution somewhere, and the problem's in the pipes. You have failed.
No, I haven't failed. I did my duty by submitting it to the chief operator.
You have failed dramatically by not notifying your council members, by not notifying the citizens of this town. You said you haven't had a whole lot of time to react on this, and I understand that. If you haven't had a whole lot of time to put everything together, why has Mr. Bates been released? And I think council really ought to sit back and consider that maybe they ought to relieve you of your duties effective immediately.
Other than Mr. Bates, who else is going to be held responsible for this? Because my children have been drinking this water every day, all day long. I cook with this every day.
So does everybody in this room. And as I said, out of 40 samples, there was 7 bad. Not 33 were good.
I'm sorry.
7 were bad.
7 were bad. That's what I said. 33 were good.
7 were bad. Yes.
State Representative John Cherry was in attendance Monday night to assure residents that he and Senator Joe Schiavone are doing everything they can to keep the issue at the forefront of state health board leaders.
All of you are really upset and angry and frustrated, and we're going to get to the bottom of this. This is all going to come out in the laundry, and we're going to figure out where the process is. Right now, we are investigating whether the state law needs to be revised. In 1970, when this became a huge issue, the legislature basically enacted a law and said that the EPA is going to run the program. Now, there are reporting requirements under a section of the revised code that need, in my opinion, that I believe need to be revised, that sets out a timeline for when this happens. There's a triennial test every 3 years, correct? This test is done, it's a routine test by a state certified vendor. When that report goes down to Columbus, then the EPA in turn notifies the local community that there is a violation where they have lead exceeding the limits. We are trying to investigate why the EPA had this information, the same information, quite frankly, that the village had, but yet there was no public notification. The law says that should there be a lapse of notification at the local level, the state EPA director may, not shall, under the revised code, and that very word carries a lot of significance, may notify the local community. Well, if it is a public health crisis to this level, and that really needs to be looked at, and that needs to be revised, because this is the first time, to my knowledge, Mayor, that this has happened where the local community has gone above the threshold by which the EPA says that this could be harmful. So we're going to look at this, and we're going to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Right now, the most important thing that we're focusing on, rather than casting blame, is making sure that every one of you in this room has access to fresh, clean drinking water, something that you deserve and should be, quite frankly, a right that we're all entitled to.
Mayor Michael Pinkerton encouraged residents to give council members enough time to figure out the facts and have patience in the meantime.
For us to give you definite answers here tonight without sitting down in another meeting with the EPA after this recent round of testing would be very irresponsible on our part. It would all be speculation, and the last thing you need is speculation. You need facts, and we need facts to be able to give you the answers.
For now, citizens have been encouraged to follow the guidelines that were given by the EPA. Those concerned about getting their water tested were told to contact the utilities office. Follow this story as it unfolds at www.the-review.com. For the Alliance Review broadcast team, I'm Ruth Lang.